One, two, three, go!
Hey, this is episode 4 of the Scale Tales podcast for the Goannas. I'm Matt Zabel, and our guest today is Rob Andrews. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. Thank you. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I'm keen to get chatting. Um, so Rob, I got to know you because you came to Manly and played in our Winter League team. Um, and you've always got a spot on our team as well if you ever want to come and join us. Do you think you'll ever come back and come and join us again?
Look, maybe. I think my mum would like if I came back to Manly, enjoyed the Manly League team again. But I think it might be a little bit of time. But yes, I would definitely love to be back. And I think it's very fun playing on, casual teams with your friends and things like that. So it is something that I would love to do, but probably not for a while.
And I believe you started your kind of ultimate career at Manly. Is that correct as well?
I started in Manly with my older brother who used to play. So we used to go down to the park in Manly, toss a frisbee. That was my first sort of experience, and then picked it up at uni. But always a soft spot for playing in Manly and throwing a frisbee on the beach for sure.
So you played in two campaigns, is that right? In London and Perth?
Correct.
Yeah. How was that experiences overall, and did you prefer a campaign compared to the other?
It was really great. This is the simple version. I think it's so much fun playing. For me, that was my first sort of world championships, or first sort of international frisbee. So it was really my first exposure to anything outside of Australia, sort of related to frisbee and
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. So I think for me, London definitely has a soft spot in sort of the exposure to what it was like going to world championships, the fact that you do all the training camps and meet people from interstate, the fact that you have friends, now all around Australia. I think that was exciting. But I think for me, a personal favorite was definitely in Australia, in Perth. Sort of home worlds was cool, but I think we did a little bit better in terms of our results. So we came away from there with a bronze medal. And I think a lot of the people from that team in Perth, I now still play with. They're on, the Dingoes are on the other teams that are on my club teams. And I think for me, it's really exciting that like I still play with a lot of those people, on a weekly basis. I see them all the time. They're still my really good friends. And I think for me that one definitely holds a special place.
I think the friends at a young age, you definitely, and who still play and continue to play, like I hold quite close as well on my under 20s team. Like I still hang out with like quite a group of them. So I think those quite young periods are quite formative years for sure. So you came in bronze in Perth, and then you came in bronze in Gold Coast only in last year too. So do you think playing at home is like an advantage to you guys when you play?
Maybe it's an advantage, maybe it's good, but maybe I'll also say that we always wanted better than bronze. I think bronze is always a good thing, but I think we always wanted better. So it's not to say that playing at home is bad. I think if you can play at home, and playing at home is definitely an advantage. But does not to say I think I'd ever settle for bronze as the sort of perfect thing. But I think playing at home was very, very special, and play with I think so many friends and family and stuff on the sideline is really cool, and to have so many people sort of experience and being able to share what you do, I think a little bit easier than Frisbee being on the other side of the world. I think is a very fun thing. Whether it helped our result, I think maybe it did. I think it's nice having those things, and maybe some things are a little bit easier, but I think there's always that element of would always like to do a bit better.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally get it. And I mean, like, I went to Birmingham to watch my brother play in under 20s, and then I went to Gold Coast to watch you guys play. I think just the whole experience is so much more in, enthusiastic a bit in Australia, and it's just the whole energy is like a lot higher, especially in the stadiums, and everyone there is like everyone who you know, compared to like in England, you have so many other countries, so I think it is quite special to have it in your country. I think it's kind of cool. But I can imagine a few teams like are probably planning to play a bit worse almost if it's in their country because that like energy could be a little bit unexpected almost. I don't know.
Part of it as well though, is like the fun of travel and
Oh,
getting out and seeing the world and seeing what else. So I'd definitely say that like I'm very glad to have had not just frisbee tournaments in Australia and that some of my best experiences are overseas, and I think that's a really cool thing as well. So I don't think it's as simple as in Australia is better or worse, but
yeah.
it's a cool thing that I guess I've been lucky that I've had that mix of a few things in Australia and then a number sort of overseas as well that are very enjoyable in their own way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, you were also captain on the Dingoes team in Gold Coast. Is that your first captaincy spot in a team?
Yeah, I guess as part of the dingoes it is. I've sort of done, various leadership things for a number of sort of other teams. I guess for the dingoes, that was my first time, particularly being only sort of 4 years apart, and with the last one cancelled due to COVID.
Oh,
Um, Sort of a long time since the previous dingoes. But definitely for the dingoes, that was sort of my first experience doing that, which I think very exciting, personally, and a pretty cool experience.
and what like inspired you to kind of to be captain? Because I think for me, as I like I go into Worlds in Spain, I think as it's my starting under 24s campaign, I don't want I think the it could be a bit too much for me to think about to being a captain on the team as well as trying to play at the same time. So I'm spirit captain on the team. So I thought it was like a good medium in between you're still quite um a leader on the team, although you can still it's not as demanding as potentially a captaincy a role.
Yeah, I guess my view on that is that everyone can be a leader, like whether you have the title of captain or spirit captain or whatever else, it doesn't really matter. That everyone can lead in their own right, and I think there are times where everyone has to whether it's pull someone in line or speak their mind or lead by example. I think everyone can do that, and having the title might just be an extension of that, in some ways, and that kind of formalizes it. But I think for me, it's not that different to taking on that role from within the team. And I guess what maybe as you said the words of sort of what inspires you to do it. I think if you think that would help your team win, or you think that would help your team do better by you doing that role, then you're potentially the right person for that role. And if as you said, if there's too much pressure or too much other things that detract from your experience, then that's totally fine. I think that's something that each person can decide. But I think for people that have the energy to bring and feel like that they can help their team win, help their team do better, help the people on the team come to the fields as better versions of themselves and perform their best, then I think that's a really cool thing that should be celebrated. Whether or not you're the formal captain or not, I think doesn't really matter to me. I think that's something that everyone can do.
Oh, it's a great mindset. I never really had thought about it in that way of being. How do you prepare for high quality tournaments or environments or teams in the lead up and then at the tournament as well to make you play at your best, I guess.
I think something big for me, personally, is feeling fit. I
Yeah.
think if I feel fit, that sets me up for success. But generally for me, that looks like quite a bit of running, and I know that looks different for other people, which is fine. But I think if I'm feeling fit and feeling fast, then I think that sets me up for success. And then I think the other part is, I think having a clear idea of like what you want to get out personally out of every tournament. I think every tournament's quite different, and as you said, there's club and Goannas and sort of rep teams and other things that I think all of them should come with sort of different expectations or what you want out of it differently. And I think that everyone can get something really valuable out of every tournament and out of every single experience that they have. So I think personally, I come in with a very clear idea about sort of what I want out of every tournament and then kind of put all my effort into chasing that goal and lining up to make sure that I get out um, exactly what I want out of that tournament. So I say that's kind of the pre-work in my head for what do I want to do? Like, why am I playing this campaign? Like, why am I part of this team? What's in it for me? And that gives me like a very clear sense of why I'm doing it. And yeah, I think everyone should get the rewards at the end, and I think it'll look a bit different for each person. But I think ideally people know exactly why they're there.
Okay, so and then in all those teams, like in Crocs and WAC and whatever, what do you think is your like top achievement? If it's like a personal one or a team one, or like a moment, or just your top, like
Top
your top,
achievement.
yeah, your top thing, if you can even bring it down to that.
I'd say maybe the top thing in results is probably a silver medal at World Games. I'd say um, that's the best I've done. I've got two silver medals now, which is sort of very lucky. One at WAC and one at World Games. So that's probably my top achievement there. I'd say my maybe a little more nebulous achievement is that I like to think I've come home from every tournament a better player than when I started. And I think for me, that's something that I look for and have as a goal for each tournament, that I come home or finish the tournament better than when I started. And I think that for me is like something that I'm quite proud of, that I think I take quite an attitude of, like, it's not just about winning every single point or winning every single matchup or, never screwing up. It's that if you keep getting better and better and better, I think it'll pay off in the long term. So I think that's something that I'm sort of quite proud of overall. But in terms of the result, I think for me, the silver medal at World Games, which was in 2022.
Who do you think is the toughest player who you've ever had to mark and why?
The answer is Mike Neild,
Okay.
who
Oh my
is
God.
your coach.
Has he gone and paid you to say that?
No, he has not. And I don't know if you remember this, but it must have been my second year playing, so around 2014-ish. And he just joined our club team, Colony and come down. And I remember as approximately the same height person, I was tasked with marking Mike Neild. And with all his years of experience and my not many years of experience, it did not go well for me for a long time at training. I remember thinking that there was literally nothing I could do to stop this man scoring goal after goal after goal. Um, and as disheartening as it was, I think it was equally impressive that I felt totally powerless to stop this person running around doing seemingly whatever they wanted. So that persisted for, I would say, a number of months over that season. And then sort of you slowly work your way in and stop, first I'll stop one cut for the whole point and you'll still score the goal. And then, gradually get a little bit better over time.
So it's good competition for all of us who go up against him as well at Sunder and things. I'll
Correct.
I'll keep it in mind as well. I might go into a regionals recap as well because I've been asked. So, do you want to give
Very
a
good.
quick overview of your time on the weekend at Southern Regionals?
Yes, I can give a quick update. So I guess update was number one was the weather was too hot, so we had a lot of cancelled games,
Oh,
which
really?
was which was actually excellent. I think everyone appreciated that. So I think most of the Saturday games um, ended up being cancelled, which led to a reasonably relaxing Saturday. Um, so most of the games, I think, on Saturday sort of went to seed with the top teams kind of progressing through. So that left Chile, Hoss, and Ellipsis in the top pool, and I think Outbreak having also won sort of their first games on Saturday comfortably in like the top set, securing their national positions, which left on Sunday just a round robin of Chile, Hoss, and Ellipsis, and then Outbreak sort of clearing the rest of the field to, I think, bring home their national spot.
Oh,
So, um, yeah, the weather gods sort of causing a little bit of chaos, but nothing too unexpected, sort of with the results falling. And then sort of a round robin with Hoss, Chile, and Ellipsis had I guess Ellipsis come out on top in sort of reasonably close, but not too close games. And then I think Chile reasonably putting away Hoss, I think, by sort of similar margins of about 4 points.
Oh wow. So I mean, Chile and Haas have been are pretty close now because I remember like in previous years, Chile it was in Division Two, and then Haas was always like in the top half of Division One. So you think Chile have got like a lot of newer kind of players coming through?
Chile definitely got a lot of sort of the like a more consistent roster of their younger players kind of coming through who have, a few previously coming through Div 2 and now a few that have been playing Div 1 for a couple of years that are definitely starting to improve. And definitely seeing that kind of in the Div 1 space that they've now been playing for a few years and they're definitely getting better and better. So definitely seeing that along with Tom Regaki, who is somehow still playing. So between the Chile Young Guns and Tom Regaki, they're still definitely a pretty high quality team. And then I think also Hoss they've done a bit of a leadership rejig and other things, so it come out probably looking a little bit different in terms of structures and sort of vibes and other things to previous years. But I think exciting to see how they kind of work through some different stuff and put that together.
Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, e- every time I play against Tom or Gak, like it's just the throws are just insanely accurate, and he just only stares at Reggie or someone upfield, and he just keeps staring at him, and then he eventually goes and cuts deep, and you're like, oh, okay, now I'll throw it, and then it's a dime. But yeah. Anyway, um, and how warm to get for games to
I
be
think
cancelled?
I think on Saturday it was about 38 degrees,
Okay,
is my understanding.
okay, that's pretty
But
tasty.
but it worked out very well. We actually I think we finished games by about 11 a.m. So with the afternoon being cancelled, so it actually wasn't too bad for us.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. You can go to the pub afterward or something like that. Um, well, over here on the eastern end, um, it was like a round robin in between all six teams competing for Division One. That's Crank and Manly, two Sunders, I-Beam, and Fishwick. So on day one, Manly and Canberra had come out on three games, uh, on three wins, and Canberra had won against Slice on a crazy, insane, like, like high energy competition. It was, it was great to watch. Um, so we had two of us on two wins. Oh no, on three wins, and then Dice were on three L's, unfortunately, and that was quite surprising for all the other teams. Um, and then by day two, it was Manly had played against Canberra and won actually, which was a pretty good game, and then Slice had one as well. So we had three teams kind of all competing for the top two spots in Canberra and Manly and Slice. And Canberra had to win against I-Beam to secure into in second place, I think. And they had had lost to I-Beam, unfortunately. And then they had lost to I-Beam again directly after that. And that put Crank into the game to go for wildcard spot against Sunder Dice. So it was like crazy how Canberra had had lost twice in a row, and then Crank is like, oh my God, how have we ended up here? Yeah, so it was pretty exciting stuff the whole way through, which was good. Just what it was, yeah, yeah, it was great experience overall.
I think it's good. I think it's good for the sport that we see sort of a bit of a shuffling of the order. I think, it's good when as a player that's been lucky enough to be on the top for a while, like it's good when the top teams are at the top, but I think it's always nice to see sort of other teams coming through, shaking things up. Fishwick on the up, like Manly on the up, like all these things I think are really exciting to see. New players, new things, sort of anything to stop sort of people stagnating and thinking they can do the same thing over and over again is really exciting. And I think, yeah, those results speak to that it's all a little bit chaotic. But what that means, I think, is that everyone's getting better. The talent's sort of pushing everyone to get better and not sort of sit around and do the same thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah, completely agree. And like every game against Crank or Slice or IBM or Campbell, whatever, is always a tough game. Like they can't go and guarantee a win against any team in that division. So it's getting quite competitive, and it's really exciting to play and watch for sure. So our Goannas team are doing a playbook kind of plays concepts and ideas to chat to other people about. And so have you got a play or set play you want our Goannas to play at Worlds? And it can be your favorite play or anyone you choose, and we can add it to our bag, you could say.
The favorite play has got to be what's called the trebuchet,
Okay.
and it involves catching the pull, throwing maybe a 2 meter dish pass, and then just hucking it to the end zone.
Oh,
And the rest of your team will chase it down.
oh, and all of them all sprint to the end zone. Yeah, yeah,
Everyone else knows, your whole team knows where it's going. Quick dish, throw it to the end zone.
that's perfect. And like, are you normally the guy to throw it or catch it?
I think maybe I would try to be the guy to throw it, but I think everyone makes me be the guy to run and chase it.
I don't, I've seen your pulls though, and they're pretty good. So, I think you could be a thrower as well for sure.
Very good. I'll put you in touch with my team and I'll let them know that Maddie thinks I should be the one throwing it.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining. Have you got any key pieces of advice for the Goannas as they go and embark onto Spain for Worlds?
No, it's very exciting. Maybe the only thing is that for everyone on the team, I think there are a lot of things like you're all starting out on your Frisbee kind of journeys, and there are a lot of things to think that you need to work on or need to be better at and everything like that. And I think at this stage it's enjoy it and focus on your strengths and the things that you're good at, because that's the kind of stuff that'll, win you games, and that's the kind of stuff that you're best at already. So focus on that, and that'll take you a long way rather than, worrying about potentially anything that you can't do. Because it's very exciting. I think it should be very fun. And yeah, it's a really cool stage where I think the world is your oyster a little bit, and you've got, so many things to work on and do and all sorts of stuff. But by the same token, everyone's on this team for a reason. So definitely focus on your strengths and make that happen at Worlds.
How good. Uh, I appreciate you a lot, Rob. So thank you for joining.
You're so welcome. I think everyone's very excited about, everyone loves the 24s. I think a lot of people on the Dingoes and other things have come through the under 24s, so definitely have a soft spot and want to, support the teams. I and a lot of my friends and stuff follow along with what's happening. So it's really cool to see and really cool to keep up to date with, who's on the team and what's happening and, how your results are going. So I and many others will be following along very closely.
And we'll come and see you at Goannas Invite, I assume, for Ellipsis
That's
2.
the plan. Correct.
Awesome. Pretty good competition is going to be good on the way there. Awesome. Well, thank you, Rob.
No worries. Thank you.